Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. This is Sullivan Adams Game Day on Dragon Ball Super Episode 19. And if you guys are a fan of Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F or Revival of F, then you're definitely gonna love this episode. It starts off. They changed the opening a little. One of the things they altered was how when Goku, who who like how Goku when he's doing his pose and his energy sometimes shifts, showing him like and when he is in normal or he's in regular form, and then when he changes, he becomes Super Saiyan God. They altered it. It's no longer the same. It's no longer the same form. Now it's no longer Super Saiyan God, the first one where he had the red hair. Now it's the one with his hair stand up pointy, with the pointed ends, and now it's Super Saiyan Blue from the movie. Because they altered the ending. Like they changed they changed the opening. Given what's coming, but it's understandable. Anyway, the situation is this: like if you guys watch, like I say, if you guys love Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, you're gonna love this. Like this, as Goku and they train with Whis to try to master their new power, try to master the Super Saiyan God power to become stronger, and so Bay acts a plan to resurrect Frieza. Now he resurrects Frieza. He does what, and because he knows with Frieza's power, they have the power to literally dominate the entire universe. Because Frieza's dead, his empire has been crumbling apart. Those are like they're no longer feuding in the universe, especially now that Frieza was killed. Like they're getting desperate. Like the man who's in charge is Sorbet. You gotta know this. The same person who plays the voice of Sorbet is also plays the voice of Oolong in the movies and in and the Dragon Ball series, well TV series. I do like Oolong character. He's just a bit goofy. I mean, hell, you have a talking pig, so so I don't know, but that's understandable. So Bei he enacts his plan to try to use the Dragon Balls. He couldn't find Namek's Dragon Balls, so he uses Earth's Dragon Balls. But you guys know this, you've seen this already. This episode was definitely an homage to that. The progression was longer, and the animation was good, and they did it in its own unique way. One of my favorite moments from the movie was when Frieza became resurrected from the chamber. There was his rock theme, Frieza, Frieza, Frieza. It was good. It was a good theme because the movie was about Frieza, about him returning and trying to rule the universe and trying to settle an old score with his biggest enemy, the person he hates the most. Most, but I still think it can't beat Flow's Hero by Flow. Oh, from the first Battle of Gods movie. I love Flow as a band. They made some best anime openings for Naruto, Fighting Dreamers, stuff like Well, I love them. But enough about my love of openings. Anyway, the situation for them is pretty good. It's pretty, desperate. They use the Dragon Balls. They use Pilaf. This show had its usual pace. It was slow and standing, slowly giving up to me, coming up from the ground, so he could give us the story, the closure. We already seen this before. It's not trying to copy, the movie. It's trying to it's trying to tell you the story, but in its own unique way. It's not following it completely. It's doing it, but it's doing its own little version of a spin on it. And that's good. It's very good because they're not giving us the same. They're not just giving us the same thing and telling and giving it and calling it a different name. So it's the same detail. It's different, like what they with Battle of Gods. However, the progression with Battle of God was slightly different. Like one of the things I liked about that version was they made the fight longer. I remember growing up watching the old Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z back to back on Toonami. How the action, how the fighting lasted for episodes at a time, like a whole bunch, 5, 10 episodes. It really, it pretty much filled like half the season. And it was all fighting, and this was no different. And so that's what I like about this episode. Oh, like it's giving us, it's slowly starting from pace. I liked how Frieza, like he's not comfortable in hell. He's being surrounded by fairies. They're trying to make him happy, but we all know Frieza's not the happy type. I'm not the cheerful type to say, yay, da la 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 la, and stuff like that. He's a say, screw you, I will kill you, I am Lord Frieza, and stuff like that. He's supreme ruler of the universe, basically. Well, not completely. I mean, Beerus is the god of destruction. Everybody bows to him in fear, literally. So, um, anyway, I like the progression, especially in the opening, where how they changed things. How they gave us a nice shot of Frieza. He's fully resurrected, especially when he's going golden Frieza. We'll see that later in the series. It'll probably be like 3 or 4 episodes. It's like 4 or 5 at least, because if they're gonna do this the same way they handle Battle of Gods, it's gonna be a long progression, a long fight. Hey, I hope so. Not too long that drags on, but enough long enough to keep us hooked and interested on the thing. Hell, Resurrection F did better than Battle of Gods. Not story wise, and because so many people went to see it, in Japan it broke box office records and a lot more box than the first movie, even though it was the sequel. No, if you guys want to know about this detail, you should go to Fineva World's YouTube channel. He has click all the details. I think animes because of Resurrection F and Dragon Ball Z in general, like anime has gained enormous popularity over the past 2 decades, over the years. Cause hell, when anime needed a foothold to start the anime boom of the '90s and 2000s, it Dragon Ball Z took the first step along with Sailor Moon. Uh, but enough about that. This episode was definitely very good. A lot of progression, It gave us, even though this whole episode was mostly about Sorbet, we get to see some shots of Goku and Vegeta training with Whis. And he's like this whole episode was basically about like the first 10 or 15 minutes of Resurrection F, but they did it a lot longer and more progression. They even put they and we had to see Pilaf and his crew, Mai and Shao. I like how funny they are, even though they're kids. Even though we never got to see how they became kids, even though we know that they used the Dragon Balls to make themselves young and they want the Dragon Balls to like turn into adults again. Even though we never got to see that, but that was probably in the Dragon Ball manga somewhere. Yeah, but knowing Akira Takayama, he probably has a manga chapter that he probably either written it or didn't bother to air it on online, or just kept it, set somewhere safe, not like leave it to your imagination. Anyway, good episode. I loved it. I loved it. And from what I see, and one of the things I like also was the preview to the next episode. It looks like Goku and Vegeta, they're gonna break the barrier again and achieve their new power. But then again, there's also Frieza. Knowing that he lost to Goku, he's gonna train hard so he can achieve his gold mode, so he can get stronger, right, and become powerful enough to fight Goku. So basically, he wants to do this. Yeah, like he really wants to fight Goku, and this was definitely one of the best fights in the movies. And this was one of my favorites. Like one of my favorite in the fights in the Dragon Ball Z franchises. Like definitely one of the best. I do like this up. Who like this episode, and I like those episodes back. I also liked how in the flashback when Frieza was killed, Shenron's talking about how they use some of the original stock footage from the original Dragon Ball Z from the '90s when Future Trunks came back and chopped Frieza up into pieces. That was pretty cool. That was like a shout. That was to me. That was like a shout out to all the people who watched Dragon Ball Z, who watched that episode. If you love Dragon Ball Z, you gotta watch this episode, because if you have not seen this episode, that means you missed this part. And this part I really love, because it took some of the old footage and mixed it with the new footage. That part I really like, because Dragon Ball Super is supposed to be after Dragon Ball Z, and even though some people have criticized Dragon Ball Super a lot, it still has the same people as Dragon Ball Z, and I still care about it. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you gotta watch that. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for the comment, subscribe. Thank you. This is Solomon Adams giving my latest review on Dragon Ball Super episode 19. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for the comment, subscribe. Thank you. Frieza, Frieza, Frieza. He's back, baby.